Hi, AP Psych. Welcome to Module 10. Hard to believe we are this far into eSchool. It's wild. Today, we are going to be focusing on how we're going to navigate the systems and structures that will be used on the AP exam. So how we'll actually be accessing the exam, how we'll be navigating that format, all that fun stuff, so that we are ready and we are not stressed about that stuff at all. Okay, so when we're taking the AP exam, you are going to get an e-ticket in your email and in your My AP account 2 days before your test, which is May 17th. One thing to be clear on, when you get it in your email, when I say email, I mean the email that you have registered with College Board. I know for a lot of you that isn't your school email. So make sure you're not depending on your school email, you're checking your personal email, or you're logging into My AP through College Board to get this e-ticket. It'll look like this. It will be unique to you, and it is absolutely vital that you have this. If you check on May 17th and you don't have an e-ticket, you need to let me know ASAP. Shoot me an email, send me a Teams, send me a text, send an owl. I don't care. Just tell me ASAP if you don't have one. You'll also get a different ticket for every AP exam you take. So I know most of you actually are in other AP classes. So you'll get one for psych, one for stats, one for physics, one for chemistry, one for calc, one for all the different AP exams that you're taking. It will say, when it says time right here, it's going to say that your exam starts at 2 p.m. That is in Eastern time. I've not been lying to you. Your exam starts at noon here in Colorado. You will be able to click this yellow go to exam at 11:30 on May 19th. That is what you need to do. I've sent you a reminder, an appointment in your Outlook. Except that it'll send you a quick ding 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 when it's time to start getting ready so that you don't forget and so that you're not late. All right, so some things to do to prep for your exam because you got this. You're going to need to use Chrome as your browser. Don't use Internet Explorer. It will not work. You need to use Chrome. If you have Grammarly installed on your Chrome as an add-on, you need to uninstall that before the AP exam. I know that sounds really weird and specific. I think so too, but that is what I'm being told by College Board is that that's the only add-on that's going to prevent the system from running and working the way it should. So just make sure that's uninstalled. And you need to make sure you practice with the demo so that you're used to the format. More on this later. And then you need to take a deep breath. You got this. You've worked so hard. Everything's going to be great. And we're going to be so prepared and so great. Okay, once you are in the exam, you need to log in at 11:30, all right? Do not log in at 12 because there's things you have to do. So you'll lose time doing those other things before you can actually start your exam. You're going to be asked some questions to confirm your identity. Part of these questions are going to be giving a writing sample. They're going to ask you to give this writing sample to compare your answers to that sample to make sure it's a similar writing style and that it'll be more evident if you are copying and pasting. I know no one's going to copy and paste because I know you guys have really taken it to heart when I begged and pleaded you, please don't cheat on the AP exam, and you don't need to cheat because you're very smart and very capable of this. But just one more plug. Don't cheat. It's not worth it. Once you're through all of those security questions, you'll wait, and the first question will automatically show up on your screen at 12 noon. I think of it as how you get to the airport to get through security a little bit before your flight actually takes off. If your flight is taking off at noon, you're not getting to the airport at noon. You know better than that, right? Same thing with our AP exam. Yep, test starts at noon. We're logging in at 11:30. All right, so as we're answering questions, you will have 3 options for how you can submit your questions. First, you can copy and paste your answer from a document. That can be a Word doc, notes, a sticky, a Google Doc, whatever you want. This is the option that I'm recommending, and I'm really recommending that you use Google Docs, and we'll get into why in just a moment. You can also upload your answer. So if you use a Google Doc or a Word doc, you could save that doc and then upload it as your answer instead of copying and pasting. You also can take a photo of your handwritten answer and upload it if you are writing your answers. That is my least recommended. I think it's going to take longer to upload a photo than it will to copy and paste. So I think that copying and pasting is going to be your best use of time, and have like the least possible glitches. So that is what I'm most recommending. But it's good to know that this handwritten option is available if you feel super comfortable with that, or if something goes wrong with your computer. All right, so if you are using the recommended process that I just like cannot recommend enough. Oops, sorry. You should split your screen like this. So have your questions on one side and your doc where you're answering all your questions on the other side, like so. All right. You'll just unmaximize your screen. Don't minimize it, just unmaximize it and split it in half. I recommend practicing with this before the day of the exam so that it doesn't feel super new and tricky for you. All right, so you'll have a screen with a question, and you will not be able to directly type your answer into that screen. I'm recommending that you'll need to have a Google Doc, but you could also use Word if you really wanted to. I recommend Google Doc because it automatically saves. If something weird happens and you accidentally X out of your browser or something, that Google Doc will be saved, so you don't have to worry about it. And you can set this doc ahead of time, right? Just like you saw in my example here. You'll need to have your AP ID and your initials. Those are my initials, up here in the top. So you can go ahead and get that set up right now, even if you wanted to. This is the doc where I'm going to have my AP exam. All right. Once you're done, you're going to highlight your answer and right click copy. And then there will be some options under the question, and you will select paste answer. A text box will appear. You will not be able to type directly into that text box, but you will be able to paste into that text box. I know technology is wild, but that's how it is. And then you need to click submit. All right. That is like the most important thing that I've gleaned from all of the information that College Board has given us is how important clicking submit is going to be. You'll have a timer at the bottom. And so on question 1, you've already, as you know, you will have 25 minutes to answer that question. But that timer is going to be set for 30 minutes. All right. They're intending that last 5 minutes to be used to make sure you submit and all that stuff is good. All right. When that timer reaches 5 minutes, so you have 5 minutes left, you're going to get a pop-up that tells you to start submitting your answer. And so timer pops up, copy, paste, put it in, click submit. All right. If the timer runs out and you have not clicked submit, even if the answer is in that text box, it will not be recorded. All right. You will get a 0 on that question. All right. So clicking that submit is so important. Okay. Don't click submit before you're actually done though, because you won't be able to submit twice. It's not like a save option. Once you click submit, you are done. All right. So if something goes wrong, I think we've all probably experienced technological challenges in the past. You all know that I have. First thing you're going to need to do is breathe. It's going to be okay. College Board is being super understanding about all of the things that could potentially go wrong. If there's a computer glitch, your computer weirdly shuts down, your internet stops working, your family is causing a disruption for some reason, there's a younger sibling that is causing a scene, everybody decided to watch Netflix at the same time and you can't get your internet, your parents really need you to help with something, there's a plethora of things that could happen. All right, do your best. Try to finish your test. All right. You will be able to apply for a retake that will happen on June 5th if you really need to. You can apply after you're done if you had a disruption. So let's say if my computer shuts down for some weird reason, I get it started back up, I get back into the exam, and I get all the way through and finish, but then at the end I'm like, you know what? I was only able to answer 2 points on question 1 because I spent all of my time getting my computer back in. I can apply for a retake and I'll get that. All right. They will not give you a retake if you just like forget to hit submit, right? Or if you're like, wow, they asked me all these questions that I just like didn't get ready for. Let me get like a second try on the retake to see if that goes better for me. Those are not examples of reasons that you would get the retake. Examples do include any kind of like disruptions that actually happen. All right, so just some general tips that I'm going to give you. You'll see the AP checklist later on in this module. I think you should really use that. It's really comprehensive of everything that you'll need to create a list for yourself for the day of the exam, just to make sure you have everything. I know for me, when I get stressed, I tend to forget like little steps that I should not forget. And so having a checklist is really helpful. Have some paper and a pen ready just in case there's any issues and you need to write out your answer, or you just want to like write out your thoughts. Having that available is going to be really helpful. Try to be in a quiet place, have your computer fully charged, maybe even a quick restart before you start, just to make sure that everything's good. Half the problems we run into are with our computers, we just need to restart. So let's do that before we even get started on the exam. Close out your email and your Teams so that you're not distracted by any of those notifications while you are taking the exam. Have your notes ready to rock, and that a big part of that is going to be making sure that you're practicing with your notes so that you know like physically where you want them around you, how you're going to use them, all of those things, that they're labeled or flagged so that they're easy to use. If you're using anything digital, make sure it's downloaded and not accessible by anyone else, okay? So if you're using like a class packet per se or a Quizlet, make sure that like you've got that downloaded on your own computer and that no one else can access that. Just don't Google things. Not worth it. Not going to help you. And it's going to be a big waste of time. So just don't Google things during the test. Use your notes. Okay? Use your notes and do your best. Some things for after the exam. You'll need to indicate which schools should get your scores by June 20th. If you indicate after that date, then it will cost money to get those scores to your schools. Just do that now. You can even do that now if you want. There's no negative consequences for sending. So if you by chance don't do as well as you wanted to in the exam, schools aren't going to penalize you for your score. All right. It'll just have no impact. I'll be getting your answers on May 26th, not your scores. All right. So I'll be able to go over your answers, touch base with you on how I think you did, all that stuff on May 26th. And then you'll have your scores around July 15th. Something that is new this year is I'm going to have the opportunity to have scores reviewed if I feel like that is appropriate. And that can definitely be a conversation between you and I, but I will be the one that has to request it. The teacher has to request the review. And what that means is if you score really low, and we believe that if there were like more questions or more opportunities to show what you know, that you would have done better. All right. So just so you know, like, I don't know, if you get to the exam and everything and you feel like completely lost and you feel like you really studied really well, that option is there. And that we'll be able to use that if we need to. It's just one more thing to feel a little bit better about. With that, you're going to move on now to the demo of the AP exam format, where you will be walking through exactly what your test will look like, how to copy and paste your answers, so that you're familiar with that. You can also go through the demo as many times as you want. And so if you're like, oh, that felt weird, let me try it again, you can do it as many times as you want so that you feel super comfortable with that process. And then you're going to be like creating a little plan for what you're going to do after this Friday, after classes are over. So if you have any questions about this process, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I am here to help and support in any way I can. Other than that, I will see y'all later. Bye.